Morning, Annette. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Helen. Hi, Judy. Hi, Julie. Hi, Susan. Oh, not quite as organised as I should be because I've just had a little bit of an altercation with my son. I made him jump when he came out of the bathroom and now he's making me pay for it. So he stripped my bed twice. I'm so hot, honestly. So I'm not going to make it again until after we finished our live. Hi, Linda, Marie, Andrea, Heather. Hi, everybody. So, nice of you to be able to join me today, Sunday morning. Tomorrow we're launching the new Wildflowers collection from our Trudie Howard. Most of you will have seen Phil's Facebook Live yesterday. You'll have seen the stamps and a wonderful demo that he did. But I'll just run you through the stamps for those people that might have missed yesterday's live with Phil. So, Wildflower collection. So there's 6 A6 stamps. A6 obviously smaller, so you can make smaller cards, but of course you can actually with your mats and layers and your backgrounds and etc, you can make a bigger card if you want. You can also spotlight, so you can actually select certain areas of the stamp and make a smaller stamp if you want to, a smaller card if you want to, so you don't have to go with the big ones. So we've got 6 stamps. This is your bouquet, which is the one that Phil coloured in yesterday. So it's your bunch of flowers with 3 sentiments as well, and obviously they are bigger than the packaging because we have to get all the gubbins on there as well. So we've got happy birthday, have a blooming day and best wishes. Then we've got the wild poppies. So this is a great one for if you want to make a smaller card. So that's going to fit, they all fit, a lot of them will fit in the charming dies. In fact, all of them will fit in the charming dies. So that fits into one of the ovals nicely, the largest but one. Obviously you've got a smaller one there as well, so you can go down a size in the ovals. You've got lots and lots of background stamps here, and you can embellish your flowers, you know, your die cut flowers with them too. So there's lots and lots of stamps on there. There's 14 stamps I think on that one. Yeah, 14 stamps. So I really like that one. And of course the smaller ones, quicker and easier to colour in. Depends how much time you want to spend colouring. Then we've got your meadow. So here really you've got a topper. Here you've got kind of a topper and all your backgrounds. Here you've got a kind of a scene, so you've got a garden already laid out for you, or a meadow. And this one's got 3 stamps because you've got an extra butterfly and you've got a best wishes, and we're going to be working on this one as well. And this one is your daisies. This is probably my favourite, because on this one again you've got a really good sized topper, so that's going to go on lots and lots of your charming dies. You've got a smaller topper there, and then you've got your embellishment and background pieces here. Again, great for embellishing your flowers, you know, die cut flowers, and making your backgrounds. And also you can kind of decoupage on top if you want to, like that one. That's my favourite. Then we've got bunch, which is another kind of bouquet kind of style one. So another topper one, and you've got 3 sentiments on there. You've got just for you, birthday, blooms and best wishes. And then finally we've got another kind of sceney one, which is your garden. Obviously you've got lupins on there, you've got what look like poppies on there, and you've got a bunch of sentiments as well. You've got with love, for you, happy birthday, and you've got another butterfly on there. So obviously you can mix and match your sentiments and your butterflies across all of the stamp designs. And don't forget your sentiments will make a background too. So those are your 6 stamp sets. Right, I'm just seeing what you've written. Right, okay, so let's start stamping, and we're going to be doing the meadow. And I'm going to be watercolouring because it is my medium of choice. I am taking some of my alcohol pens to the studios with me, so I may or may not have time to do a bit of alcohol pen colouring in as well. But we'll see how we get on. It is a mini one-day special, so it's on the craft store. Launches tomorrow and the normal one-day special time, so it launches at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then there's another show at 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday, there's just the one show at 8 a.m. And then that's the last live hour. But I do believe, I might be wrong, but I will clarify it when I get to the studios tomorrow. I do believe that the one-day special prices are still valid up until 6 o'clock again, or 5:59 and 59 seconds. Because the next one-day special won't actually start until 6 p.m. on Tuesday night. So I do believe that will carry through. The stamps will go live on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, tomorrow morning at, well, 1 minute past midnight. And you can get 10% discount on items on the show by entering code Wildflower, all capital letters, all one word, in the discount code box at checkout. Not the note box, but the discount code box. And that's valid until midnight on Tuesday, or while stocks last. I won't get the stock until probably Friday, so I can't send any orders out until then. That's if you order from me. Okay. Right, so we're going to stamp this with our VersaFine Claire. Might as well use the new one. This is Nocturne. When I say new one, it's my latest one because I always write the date on the back. And that's because for silhouette stamps, which obviously I do with Fairy Hugs quite a lot, we want a nice juicy ink pad. And of course it saves me having to stamp it twice. Lots of tapping. And I would suggest you do actually use a platform, just in case you miss a bit. They will obviously fit on all of the A6 Sentimentally Yours acrylic blocks. Give it a good press. Yeah, it's just a mini one-day special. We were supposed to, Christy, we were supposed to only have 2 hours tomorrow, but they've made it, they obviously like the collection there, and they've made it into a mini one-day special. So we've got 3 hours instead of 2. Actually live. There we go. Stamps beautifully. So obviously on this set we've also got some sentiments, well, a sentiment, and we've also got the butterfly. So I'm just going to stamp this just as it's laid out on the packaging. So we're going to add our little butterfly over here, flying into the meadow, and I'm going to add the sentiment, which is Best Wishes, up here. Obviously we could put any of the sentiments that are any of the other stamp sets if we want to. So this is just going to make you a card straight off. And they do also, if you're not into colouring, it does actually look fabulous if you just stamp with Versamark onto the craft card and then emboss it in white. I have coloured one in on craft, but it's not actually necessary to colour them in. It just looks fab as it is, just embossed on white. So you could just stamp and emboss with gold or silver on a white card, which would be lovely. So don't if you're not a colourist, don't get all het up about, you know, colouring it in, because you don't have to if you don't want to. So there's our topper really, before we colour it in. Let's just put these away so I don't lose them. I've actually finished my prep for tomorrow. I'm now prepping for Thursday. Another busy week this week. Lots of new releases as well from companies. So besides the ones I'm demonstrating, there's lots of new products coming in. So busy. So rather than colour it all in, so I can actually do it nicely and take my time. Oh, by the way, this is the largest sort of plainish die from your charmed rectangles, which are also on the show. So I've already part coloured one in, so we're going to finish colouring this in here. Let's see what we're saying. I try, Ronnie. I don't always manage it. I do try. It's I'm paying for my 4 days off at the moment, or I have done this week, because that'll learn me. When you're self-employed, having time off means you have to work twice as hard when you actually come back to work. Right, so these are the colours that I'm using on this one, and you can see I've written down. They've still got my swatches at the studio, so I have to kind of test them before I use them. So when I've done an X, it means I'm not using it, and then I changed my mind and decided to use that one anyway. So from set 4, I've used these 2 pinks to do the flowers in the centre, and we're going to be doing these here. I don't know if these are mallows. They look like mallows, and we're going to be using these 2 here. So that one's from set 2. And that one's from set 1. So all we're going to be doing is I'm not doing any watercolouring. I'm just going to do blends. So I'm just blending the colour of the pen with the colour of the pen, if you see what I mean. So it's a bit like I suppose in some ways it's a bit like using the alcohol markers, but you're not going to go over lots and lots and lots. So we're just going to put. And I am on the Super Smooth watercolour card, so it's your hot press card, which is nice and smooth, great for stamping. And I'm just going to go around the centre. So I've got no water on the card, and I'm not actually going to add any water from a water brush either, because I want the intensity. So if you actually do direct pen, then you're going to keep the intensity just like you would if you were colouring in with your alcohol markers. And it's just another kind of facet of using the watercolour blending brush pens, because they are blending brush pens. This is my lighter colour, so I'm just going to go around the outside first. And I haven't got another one coloured in, so this is the one we're going to use. Hope you see my message, Mr. M, if it is you rather than Karen. Okay, so that you can see that they blend together, and what you'll do is you'll push some of the darker colour out, but then you'll fade into the lighter colour at the outside. And obviously it's going to settle down into the card as well, and you can go back and faff around with it as much as you want to. You can also bring your water in afterwards as well if you want to really blend them together, but this is exactly what I want it to do. This is what I've done on the other ones as well. And of course you'll see when we do the greenery that because I consider very fine lines, but because of your fine tip brush on your watercolour blending brush pens, then you're going to get into that fine detail. This is really, I suppose, a lazy way of doing this without bringing the water in. Like I say, I do want the intensity. I don't want to lose the intensity of colour. And they last a very long time, and I'm still using, as I've said on the TV, I'm still using my original pens. I've got some that I've replaced from my prototype pen set, because I ruined some of the ones in set 4 when I went direct to the stamp that had some Versamark on it. So if you're going to go direct to the stamp, make sure you clean off the ink first of all, because you learn the hard way. I was very lucky that they were all from set 1 and I had a spare set 1. So just going into those little bits there. So that's all my mallows all coloured in. And on the centre, I used, which one did I use? I used number 4. Here's the, put it away. we go. Just add that in. So how easy is that? Anybody can do that. Easy peasy. It doesn't matter if you go outside your dot, because nobody will be able to tell. So that's that one. Then we're going to do these, whatever these are. I don't know. They're just a flower, aren't they? Also, if you do this kind of list here, if you've got a load of pens on your desk and you want to return them to the set that they belong to, and you haven't sorted everything into colour order, then obviously you can then know which ones have got to go back. So for me, it's essential to know where they go back, because I like to tell you where they come from. So now we're going to go to some blues. And we've got one of my favourite blues ever, which is from number 2, which is the light blue. And then we've got this darker kind of royal blue from set 4. I am using a lot of set 4 with all my colouring that I've done for these shows, because obviously they've got lots of greens in them, and it's a great one for your flowers. So if you don't have any, or if you've got the previous sets, I do suggest you actually get set 4, because it's perfect for your flowers. And of course it's got some nice kind of mustardy kind of yellows as well, which are great for the centres. So we're going to start with the dark one, just as before, and just add a little bit of the dark blue to our flowers. You can see why I did some of this beforehand, because there's quite a lot of flowers to colour in. And I didn't want to spoil it, and I didn't want to have a half coloured in one for a change. It's getting a bit ridiculous at home with the amount of half. I think I'm going to have to, see, I've got no time, but I'm going to have to sort it all out and offer up some homework to people. Either that or it's going in the bin or recycling, because it's just getting stupid. I can't find anything. I'm looking for some samples for Thursday, can't find them. I know I've made them, but I don't know where they are. Very frustrating. So get right into this. Now, don't worry too much if you do go outside the line, because you can also always take a clean water brush to it, and you go onto the bit that you've gone outside the line with your clean water brush, and then you can just dab it off with some kitchen paper. Some of the colours don't, the intense colours don't come out perfectly. So reds and this blue would probably be a bit difficult. But, you're dealing with hot press watercolour card here, so it can take you doing that quite a few times. Whereas if you're working on something like pure white, then you're not going to be able to remove it so easily, because it'll start to, I think it's called pill, when you get kind of little bumps on your card. So just do all these little bits first. And if you are doing this on craft card, you will probably want to perhaps do a flower at a time. So do the kind of darker bits, and then add your lighter bits immediately as you do them, because it's not watercolour card, the craft card, so it will not move the colour so easily. So we can see here now we're blending the lighter blue from set 2 into the darker blue. And it's almost like a seamless blend that you get. And don't worry, you're not going to contaminate your blue. So if we kind of drizzle it here, see that blue is exactly the same as it was before. So you don't contaminate them. It's magic, really. They are super pens. Like I say, it's my go-to. So if Phil asks me to use anything else, I don't want to. Just saying, this is what I want to use. This is where I'm happy. I did quite enjoy, I did colour in a poppy with the Colour Radiance alcohol markers, and I did quite enjoy doing that, I must admit. But don't tell him. Okay, so you can see you've got the darker going into the lighter, but it's almost seamless, and it just looks like it should look, because the centre of your flower is always going to be darker than the outsides. Going quiet now. It's quite quiet outside at the moment, which is quite nice. Nathan did threaten to put Slipknot on. Oh, So it says my video has ended, so I'm just going to press the reload button. Not reload Facebook, but just refresh the screen. And there I am. I don't know what Phil did yesterday. No idea what he did. It will be homework, don't worry, I won't throw it out. I haven't spent ages stamping everything out, and I don't like to waste card very much, so. But it's just having the time to sort it all out. I want to cut the lawn after we finished here, before it rains. So much to do. So much to do. Can you hear that child screaming? It's not Nathan, although it ought to be, given the state of my bed. I'm hoping he's forgotten by the time I've finished. He's told me he won't ever forget, but he'll keep on doing it. I mean, I made him jump for like a second. And I'm paying for it now. It was funny though. It's going to make you giggle for quite a while. Shaping up, nearly done. Nope. Let's just do that. I'm getting a new hub tomorrow, so hopefully my Wi-Fi will be better than tomorrow. Oh, it's still warm, isn't it? No, it's overcast today. It's still warm. Probably all that bed making that's made me warm. Right, so there's all my blue bits. You will find that if you look at the packaging, because as Phil showed you yesterday, Trudie's coloured in the packaging, and so if you look at the packaging, you can see that there's a little bit of blue popping up here and here. So you know, you've got flowers in here and here. So it is a good idea to do this kind of chart and have the pens that you're using on your desk. So I mean, if you did put them away, all you need to do is kind of scribble right next, oh, not there, scribble right next to where you were, and then you can actually make sure that that's the colour that you're actually using. So that's all my blue bits. So now we're going to do the centre of that one, which I used number 3. Did I bring that one out? But I didn't, did I? Number 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the one. Let me just check. Practice what I preach. Yeah, that's the same, number 3. And then we do the centres of your flowers. Obviously you don't want to go into the blue at this point if you can help it, because if you move some of the blue, your yellow is going to be mucky. It's going to be green, isn't it? There we go. Okay. Missed a bit of blue there. That's going to bug me. I'm going to put some lighter blue. Where was it? There. There we go. Okay, so that's that. So now we're going to do the other bits. So for my greens, I've gone into set 4 because there's a lot of greens in set 4. So we've got this very pale moss green, and then I've got this darker one here. So we're using these two here. Right, so start with the darker one, and I'm only going to add a little bit of shade on the actual leaves. I'm not going to bother with the stems because the stems are too fine for me to deal with. So just be careful around your flowers. So, and it is only a subtle blend that you get between these two, but it's there. So you look closely and you've got a bit of depth. Don't worry too much if you go outside the lines. I remember wonderful Tim Holtz said that he wasn't bothered if he went outside the lines, and I thought if Tim Holtz can say that, I'm happy with that too. Right, I think that's all my what's-its. Now we can go into these fine stems just without, you just need a light touch with your pen. This is where you spot where you've missed bits. But I'm not going to stress. It's supposed to be relaxing. See that fine bit there? See how you can get into such fine things. These pens are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And the fact that after all the use that I've given these, the integrity of the brush is still there. It's still uber fine. And that just shows just how good these pens are. And I think that's why we've sold so many, really. Both, you know, retailers, you know, like Phil and myself, and also on the craft store. We've sold absolutely loads. Tongues out. Fine lines. I'm not sure how much colouring I'll get done on the craft store. I always find it a little bit pressured. It's like, because it's not the most exciting TV when they're trying to sell things, so we don't often get to colour in. Do you remember the time when Phil sat down with Alex next to him and they coloured in the dragonfly from Trudie's collection? I thought that was a great show. I really did, because it was lovely and relaxing to watch, and I think that lots of people learnt quite a lot, and that was using the watercolour blending brush pens as well. But you know, it is quite, you do feel like you've got to do it quite quickly. There we go, there's our stems, and then we're just going to come in with this lovely moss green. No, it's not moss green. That is not moss green. Is it? I'll just check in a sec. Look how close those are. And that's a yellow, and that's, I'm sure that's a green. No, it's not a green, that's a yellow. Where's my green gone? There it is. That's my green. Those are the colours I'm using. See, that's why the chart's really good. That's what I want. I ought to put them in a book, actually. You know, if you've got a happy planner, you could pop them in a happy planner, and that's a nice reference book, or the happy planner notebooks. And then all you need to write on the side is what stamp you coloured it in with. So I'll just put Wildflowers, and we've got the meadow. And then that's a reference for you to go back to. I used to do that with all my alcohol, well, I still do, all my alcohol colouring. I've got some from years ago when I coloured in the woodware stamps with alcohol markers. And it's you know, if you can't think about what colours you want to use, or if you worry about what colours go together, this is a handy thing to have. So so obviously we haven't got numbers on the watercolour blending brush pens, but it's the next best thing. I think we're all coloured. So we just need to do the butterfly. So for the butterfly, I think what we might do is we might bring in that orange, and we might bring in, not that one. So I don't know which ones are which now. I think that was that orange, wasn't it? No, it's that orange, right. So that orange, that, and that orange. What's that one? Is that one? Yeah, that's that one. So those are 3 oranges, so I think we'll use those 3. Okay. So just taking our direct pen again, so we can keep that intensity of colour. And then I've forgotten again which one's the darkest. That's the lightest. That's the darkest. See the pen ends of the pens aren't much help sometimes when you've got just a subtle difference between them. So I'm just going to add that. And you could stamp this butterfly out again, cut it out, and then kind of decoupage it up and give it a little bit of depth. I haven't done that, and I don't intend to do that, but you can. Okay, all done. I'm not going to add any ink around the edges. I'm going to stay quite clean on my card. Online workshops, yeah. It's just getting organised. It's another thing to organise, isn't it? These are free workshops for you. That's what these are, really. So, because we'd have to make sure that you had what you need. Right. So I was going to stick all these together beforehand, but because I was making my bed over and over and over again, it didn't happen. So what we've got here is the largest but one double D rectangle, and cut out of the alabaster white, because the alabaster white is a really good fit, I think, for the watercolour card. And of course you're going to have a layer between it anyway. So that's the second largest, and this is the largest, and this is your Mandarin Burst, and I'm also using electric blue because I thought that they would fit in really nice with the colours that I'm using on my topper. So let's glue these together. That one's nearly empty. I'll use that. Hi Tracy. Eight hours. 8 hours a day. Oh, I know. Well, there's so much I'd like to do as well. I mean, I've still got from my last two shows, I've still got a couple of demos that I didn't get done. So I've got a demo with the Trudie Summer Garden stamp set from my last show that I haven't done. And I've also got a demo with the owl from the Woodland Friends, which I haven't done. So if I get time, at some point, I can do them on either a Facebook Live or just bung them onto YouTube. But I suppose if I did them on Facebook Live, what I could do is give you a list of what I'm using, and if you have it, you can craft along at the same time. But goodness knows when I have time to do it. Wouldn't be until the end of June, well, the third week or fourth week in June, because I'm busy really up until the 18th of June, no, 17th of June. So I don't know, it's just so difficult to find time. It doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately. You can't buy it at the supermarket. Right, them's they. Do the owl. Yes, dear. No, he hasn't told me, Chrissy, so you can't go in backwards and try and get the information out of me, because I don't know what any of the new card is called. So I'm going onto the 1mm foam tape, because I'm tending to keep my cards a little flatter, because I'm struggling to store them. Whenever I can, I tend to dump my samples onto whichever company I'm working for, because I've got no space. Yeah. Right, so I do give, there is a charity nearby called Dogs for Good, and a friend of mine does that, so when I get a chance, I'll have a clear out and she'll have some of those. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop on our topper onto our largest charming oval, up to the electric blue card, so that's just going to get glued in place. Glue. Here it is. I've got work I need to organise to get done in the house as well. Goodness knows when I'm going to do that. Maybe that'll be the second. I want to do so much in the second half of June. But then there's shows at the beginning of July. So that's some of my second half of June taken care of, isn't it? Shouldn't complain. I'm not complaining really. There's just not enough hours in the day. So look at that. I love these dies. Absolutely adore these dies. My favourite. Right. So let's get that on there, and then we'll look at doing our flowers, and we're going to add another sentiment too, because we can. 8 days a week. Do you know, last weekend when I had 4 days off, that was the first days I'd had off since Christmas Day, and I tried not to think about how much work I'd got to do when I got home, but it was lovely. Sitting in the sunshine in my daughter's garden near Portsmouth, it was lovely. Seeing the sea 2 minutes away, lovely. Absolutely lovely. Right, so we're going to pop that slightly up a bit. Remember that thing, your eye needs to see things up a little bit, because if you think about your gallery, when you go to look at paintings, the gallery doesn't hang them in the middle of the wall, they hang them slightly up, and it's just better for your eye if you do that. Right, so what we've got is, I've got Best Wishes, and I'm going to add Dear Friend, and this is from the Trio frame sentiments, and it is from, hold on, my Trio frames. No, Phil will tell us which it's from. Oh. No, don't fall over. Grief. Dear Friend. It's not from that one, not from Family. I think it's from Occasions. I hope it's on here. Yes, it is. It's from the Trio frame Occasional Sentiments. And the Trio frames are on the shows tomorrow. So we're going to add that in, but I think what we're going to do is add a little bit of colour from here onto the what's it as well. And because I've gone orange then blue, I'm going to go orange and then blue when I stick it down for some layers, because remember this is a Trio frame, but if I add I've cut it out with a border, so that's actually 4 frames, and I put it on there, that's 5, and I put it on there, that's 6, so 6 frames. So I quite like that. So I think we're going to go for a blue. Let's go for a lighter blue, darker blue. This isn't decisions. Let's go for the lighter blue first, because I can always add the darker blue over the top. Yeah, it's not darker, not dark enough. Let's go for the darker blue. And you can get into that fine detail again with the fine brushes. And this sort of sentiment, obviously lots of people are on their own still, too scared to go out still. So this is a nice card to drop off to somebody. I just headbutted the camera, sorry. I think I've set it up lower. Right, that's going to go on there. So I'm going to glue this to my orange piece, to my mandarin burst piece, and let the glue settle, then I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to glue it to another. So in the meantime, we're going to look at our flowers, because I'm going to add a few flowers to this as well. I was going to figure out what pearls to add. I think I've already done that. Right, okay, that's setting. Right, so I'm using, oh, where did I go? Accident. If you've got your laptop next to where you're demoing, don't actually put your leaves and flowers on your tracker. Because as soon as you pick them up, your screen goes. Right, I've got my flowers that I've already made up. I'll show you those in a minute. Right, so we've got the romantic flowers, and I've got a couple here that I've got. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the poppies set, and I'm just going to use my Versamark. So we're just going to do a little bit of kind of watermark stamping. So obviously we could stamp and emboss if we wanted to. We could stamp with a colour if we wanted to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the poppy flowers. So I think we're going to go with, do I want that one? Or do I want that one? Decisions. Let's go for that one. So there's several different sizes of your poppies. And we want the fit on this tiny little circle block really well. Can't remember which way I did it. Oh, that way. Right, so we're going to point in that way. Not sure if you'll be able to see this. But it does look different to if you just left them plain. And it goes darker as the ink dries as well. So can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that, can't you? So you just leave the Versamark to dry. So don't go shaping your flowers until the Versamark's dry. You don't need to do any, because you're not adding embossing powder or any kind of things like luscious powder to it, so your mica powders to it. You don't need to dust with your anti-static bag first. You're just going to let it dry. So you can see it on the mandarin burst there. You can't see that one so well, can you? But it is there. Okay. So that's what I did with my flowers. Let's put that away before I lose it. Remember, fill stamps are really good. The 4mm photopolymer, so they're excellent quality photopolymer. So my stamps, my flowers, when I've done them, I'll show you the bigger one. You see we've got some pattern going on in there. It's very hard to see, but it's different to plain, to if it was plain. You can just about see it there, can't you? Just about. I've got mandarin burst and electric blue, and then I've used alabaster white for my embossed background. So let's cut this out quickly. So cutting it out with a border. I do tend to wiggle around this bit here. Obviously this is optional, stick an extra one on, but as we've got them on the show, it's nice to use them. I will, after we've finished here, the video will be available in the video section of my page, and it's there, it should be there forever, unless Facebook decided to remove it for some unknown reason. But I will also upload it to my YouTube channel as well, and I'll post on my page when I've done that, because I know some people prefer to watch on YouTube than on Facebook. So do subscribe, and then you get notified when there's whenever there is a new video loaded. Oh. So pop this on the blue. So we've got another layer, and we'll give that chance to set. And we'll pop our flowers and our leaves. The leaves from alabaster white, I've just cut the lush leaves out. Seems to be my go-to leaf at the moment. So we're going to just add our, I really like those. I like adding the little flower stamps to the actual die cut flowers, and I have done one where I've actually coloured in as well, which took quite a while, but it was quite relaxing. Right, so we're just going to add them down the bottom here. Not going to add anything above. And I've used the porcelain pearls on there, so we'll add some more of those to the tops of our card. I'm saying a lot today. I don't think my brain's working properly. had my second jab now, so I'm all inoculated. No side effects, thankfully. Well, not yet anyway. If I had it on Thursday, I should think I'd have shown signs by now, so that's all good news. All good news. Be glad when Nathan gets vaccinated as well. Don't think he's looking forward to that. He seems to think that once it's his turn, then there won't be any need to have it. Obviously, he's living in a dream world. Right, let's get these on. So we'll have one going up there. Yeah, the Super Smooth is a lighter weight, or feels like a lighter weight card as well. You can definitely tell when you touch it. The watercolour card is very substantial card. So we're just going to add our flowers in here. Another one down there. Because they're so dimensional, they take a while to set. And I've just shaped them using my tweezers. There we go. How's that looking? All we need to do is cut that out. We need some pearls. What did I do with my porcelain pearls? So let's pop these in first. If in doubt, put a white pearl in. What's it tool? Pick up tool. Where is it? There it is. There are actually. There was an orange. I think it's Sherbet Sunrise. I think it is orange and yellow, or orange and pink, something like that. That would have been good to use, maybe. I'm really into these shimmer pearls. They're so lovely. He didn't send me the others, you know. I think I was saying that he needed to send me some, but he hasn't. I don't know if they've all gone. Right, does that look straight? That doesn't look straight. That needs to go up a bit. Fa. Right, that'll do. This is a good way to pick up your pearls. Actually, tip some in the lid, and then you can just tip them back again. Works for me. Right, let's get this other sentiment on, and then we're done. Yeah. I know. How rude, Jennifer. How rude. He is very good, though. He does send me absolutely loads of stuff. And to be honest, do I have the space for any more pearls? Probably. So, did we say there were 6 or 7? I think there's 6 or 7 frames around this now. It feels quite weighty, this sentiment, but doesn't it look fab though? It does look fab. Obviously, you can do the same thing with your alcohol markers, colouring in the gaps, but just make sure that you stamp with your memento onto your Silky Smooth for alcohol markers card. There we go. So that's going to go in there. That looks fab. Absolutely fab. So I do need more tape on that though, I think, because I don't think one's going to be enough. Let's have a look. It might be. I have got some tape somewhere that's a half, which I'm eking out. I had it years ago. I think it's from Joy's Crafts or somewhere like that. So don't ask me if you can get it, because you probably can't. But it's 0.5 millimetre, which is just perfect. It's a bit of a tease, isn't it? But you know, if you've got these things, you've got to use them, haven't you? Oh, come on. Nearly empty this one. So we're going to pop that. Let's see if I can get it straight. Yeah, that looks good to me. So there we go. All done. You've got all his pearls. Lucky you, lucky you. I'm a bit wonky, aren't I? I think my camera's wonky, because I can't possibly be wonky. Okay, so to recap, we've got 6 new stamp sets from Trudie. We've got the poppies. We've got the meadow, which you just used. We've got the garden. We've got the bunch. We've got daisies. And we've got bouquet. They're all launching tomorrow. They'll be available on Phil's Honeypot Crafts website and my website from tomorrow morning. Remember, if you're shopping from me, then you need to pop discount code Wildflower in the discount code box at checkout. Not the note box, the discount code box. And the 10% will be, you'll see that reflected on your invoice. And it's while stocks last until midnight on Tuesday evening. What else? Yeah, and they launch on the craft store at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, with another show at 8 p.m. and then one more on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. If you're buying from the craft store, please make sure that you don't actually purchase until 6 p.m. because any craft store discounts don't get applied until the one-day special starts. So thank you very much for joining me. And I will see you on the telly box tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thank you. Bye.